Chris Christie was caught, on a hot mic in Windham, New Hampshire. He dropped out ahead of the debate yesterday. He didn't qualify, neither did Vivek Ramaswamy. He has yet to drop out for God knows what reason.
He was hanging out with Tim Pool last night.
Yeah, he's trying to launch some sort of media career. Chris Christie is trying to set himself up for either like a future in the Republican Party, which, given how he's gone after Trump, like the Trump wing continuing to have a hold over the party is not good news for him. And then maybe some media gig. You know, MSNBC loves hiring Republicans that just criticize Trump, and that's all that matters. But I think he knows he was on the hot mic here. He had something to say about Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis. This was yesterday.
People don't want to hear it, Wayne. Mm-hmm. They don't want to hear it. We know we're right, but they don't want to hear it. Right. And there's, we couldn't have been any clearer. Right. We couldn't have been any more direct or worked any harder. So,
and let's not forget, she spent $68 million.
Yeah.
I mean, we spent
when you give land to China and places like that.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah.
I mean, look, she spent $68 million so far, just on TV. Spent $68 million so far, $59 million by DeSantis, and we spent 12. I mean, who's punching above their weight and who's getting a return on their investment, And she's going to get smoked. And you and I both know it. She's not up to this.
She hasn't even challenged.
She's still 20 points behind Trump in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
And he's still going to carry Iowa, right?
Yes. Always. I talked to DeSantis called me, petrified that I would.
He's probably getting out after Iowa.
Well,
that's the end. I mean, look, it
sounds like
he's a veteran politician.
It sounds like something to say on the stage if he was there.
He doesn't want to say he can't say that stuff publicly, but he wants that out there. Trump responded to it, by the way. I just sent this clip at the town hall last night. This is what Trump had to say about what Chris Christie had to say. He normally hates Christie. He's making jokes about him eating at the buffet or whatever. But when it gets to, what'd you say? Yeah.
Christie's consoling himself at the buffet.
Yeah, exactly. He responded, but because he criticized Haley and DeSantis, Trump jumped at the opportunity to say Chris Christie was right.
That was the big news. Late today, the former governor of New Jersey dropped out of the race in New Hampshire. You saw it there. There's a lot of speculation now that there could be a combining of forces of the people who supported him. He had about 12% there. And by some estimates, you're ahead by an average of 14 in the Real Clear Politics average polling in New Hampshire. So if that 12 goes to Nikki Haley, she could give you a run for your money there.
Well, you have Democrats in New Hampshire, and they vote, and you have independents in New Hampshire in large numbers, and they vote. And I have polls that show me leading by a tremendous amount in New Hampshire and a lot in Iowa, and nationwide we're leading by almost 60 points. So I'm not exactly worried about it. I understand New Hampshire very well. I've won it twice and did very well with New Hampshire. I love the people. They love me, I think. We did a good job for New Hampshire economically and even from the standpoint of the military, taking care of the vets. And I think we're going to do very well in New Hampshire. Now, Chris Christie was in, and he got a hot mic I heard about. I thought actually the bigger story wasn't the fact that he dropped out. Nobody cared too much about that, but he had a hot mic where he was talking to somebody about the weather, and he happened to say that she doesn't have what it takes. She'll be creamed in the election. And I mean, I know her very well, and I happen to believe that Chris Christie is right. That's one of the few things he's been right about, actually.
So the point is just like there is speculation that she is trying to angle for a VP spot. That's not happening. She didn't know she's not going to win either. She wants a good showing in New Hampshire to put it on the resume. She'll want a good showing in her home state of South Carolina. But the reality is that she's the starting quarterback for the rest of the year on a team that is not going to the playoffs, and might as well see, hey, does Aiden O'Connell have this? If he can be the quarterback of the Raiders for the future. I mean, it's that kind of situation where there's nothing the team, the Koch brothers, well, they're, one's dead now, but the Koch network is giving her all this money because they want to see if she can lay a foundation for 2028. That's the reality of the situation. And Chris Christie saying that, I don't really know what that means, what he's trying to say. I do think he knows he's getting, he's going to be on a microphone there. He's got to understand that. Of course she's going to lose. That's not really the question. The question is just what they're trying to set up for the future.
I mean, anyone who was in the Republican Party presidential primary debates, for sure, but also race, should have had a backup plan for when they weren't successful. And for Christie to say that, or to pretend as though he's on a hot mic, when basically this is just like a reel that he's hoping to get him picked up by MSNBC or CNN, is proof of that. He was hoping to get his place back in the spotlight after 8 years of, doing something. I don't know what he was up to since he lost the last time. But, I think he should be glad he didn't go to jail for the Bridgegate scandal. Some people just really, ultimately can't count their lucky stars and just disappear into the sunset. So, who knows where, once this is over, they will all end up. Ron DeSantis, probably back in Florida, you got to imagine. I think he's still the governor there. But no one was running where they go. Yeah, though no one really had a clear pathway to victory. So you have to imagine that they understood that at some point and had like a ulterior motive for running. Yeah,
I think so too. I mean, and you saw that in the debate last night too, where she completely walked back her rhetoric where she couldn't say the word slavery regarding the Civil War. She was making an appeal to moderate suburban women, which is the constituency that the Republicans are most afraid of, because that's kind of like the nail in the coffin for Trump, because they find him offensive, white women. And she had kind of proudly said something more moderate on abortion than she had previously. I forget what else she was saying last night that was
about the punishment for abortions or something like that, or penalties. Yeah.
It was a more moderate abortion stance. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it, but she on January 6th, she was more strident, opposing Trump's actions there than DeSantis, and definitely than all of the the candidates like Ramaswamy or whatever, and Republican politicians. So she's trying to angle for a future, and I think Chris Christie knows that too. He was doing the same thing, but just something interesting on Christie's way out. He wants to get some sort of message out there.
Nice little gift to the news media too, which all did.
Which they'll appreciate, yeah.